Hello, everyone from the Middle East, and of course, this is where our final stop of the world tour comes to a head. Then in Qatar and Abu Dhabi, then two more rounds to go. 52 points up for grabs there, and the championship for gold potentially could be going down to the wire for the first time since season two. And of course, AEC Immortals form has not been very good, has it? In the past couple of races, and while Sam Swift Ninja has really elevated himself back into what is a hint of Piastri and Norris in the real world Formula One Championship there. Let's see how this one ends, though, of course. And but unlike the real life one, where they got three races to go, in the sprint we've only got two Grand Prix to go, and that starts tonight here in Qatar. And you've gone from the action and drama of Las Vegas, where we've had a lot of slipstream and a lot of overtaking, where it's going to be much more trickier to overtake. Now, qualifying is going to be quite important tonight then, and as well as strategy as well in terms of the tires you're going to have to worry about as well. I will almost certainly bet my last piece of ham that I've got in the fridge that we will not see any rain tonight then, of course, but as well as very happy Remembrance Sunday as well, of course. Yes, indeed. Then let's go through the drivers and the constructors then, as we are on slightly early tonight. Then, mainly because I was looking for my slippers and decided to sit down and perch on my poof, which meant that let's just get this show on the road. Drivers' Championship. Then it is so close now. Sam Immortal leads from Sam Swift Ninja. The gap is 5 points, separates the two championship protagonists now. And of course, it is now a head-to-head showdown with Brabbit and Flippy both out of the championship now. But that's going to be a fight in of its own right for the battle for the bronze award there. Well, not the bronze championship, but the bronze award for finishing third in the Drivers' Championship there. Of course, Sam Swift Ninja comes to this race as well, winning the last 2 seasons. And of course, this is our 5th run in the Qatar tonight there. And Sam Swift Ninja has won half of those. 5th position is Percy O'Duffing's racing for the remainder of the season. So I think the highest he's going to be is 5th. 6th is Van Von then on 72 points. Equals on 46 points. As I get me eyes working. Nameless on 37, 31 points for Lights and Boxstar as well. Once again, no Mercedes in the facility. They've both got MIA. Cam then, who's doing a great drive, great run of Formula 1 in the event league on Wednesday, and of course also got 3rd position and overjoyed with his performance. Sebasta on 12 points, Legends on 18 points, 11 for Morris. Pot Stuff getting his first points of the season and elevates himself in front of Nosey, who's skiving again. 3 points for Chaz, 1 point for Brooks, who's probably not racing either. Mad Max and Delando both in the bottom at the moment with no points there. Unfortunately for those two drivers there in the Constructors' Championship there. I wrongly said that the Constructors' Championship was won last week. It is not. The gap is 62 points. I don't even know how I got that so badly wrong. However, tonight then it might be a little easier maths for me then. Basically, in a nutshell, the gap needs to be under 44 points, doesn't it? Or was it 43? I think it is 43 points just because of the amount of, well, I haven't said that. It needs 44 points, I suppose, of course, with Kick Sauber and the Racing Ball team both winning 7 wins apiece. Then, of course, 7 wins for Sounds of Ninja, 7 wins for Immortal as well. And I'm already hot and sweaty. That's because these guys are making me very hot and bothered indeed. But Racing Ball said, of course, only one driver being represented again, which means it's going to hamstring them and potentially finish off our Constructors' Championship then. So can Kick Sauber be able to do the impossible? Well, Samsung Ninja's done the impossible over the last couple of races, been absolutely fine, Vettel. And then we got to, I've lost my spreadsheet. Where's it gone? Whoops. Oh dear, I minimised it. Then we got Haas at 81 points of drift then, but Haas is going to be looking over the show from Alpine then, who's in full position, but it's the McLaren team who looks very impressive in the last couple of races or so. Only 7 points separates the Alpine and the McLaren team, of course, 3-time Constructors' Champion in this championship there. Red Bull on 124 points, 163 points for the Aston Martin team. They've been really impressive, scoring quite impressive in the last couple of races. Ferrari on 16 points and 59 for the Mercedes team, but Mercedes just been dropping because there's been no drivers available. And then Williams on 34 points. They might, there's 25 points separates the Mercedes and the Williams with 88 points up for grabs still. So they could potentially have a shot at route of Mercedes to the bottom of the Constructors, which would not be ideal at all. Of course, Williams finished bottom of the Constructors last season, so they don't really want to finish bottom of the Constructors again this season. Yeah, the Mercedes team have not had a representative in their car since the Italian Grand Prix, and that was a did not finish there from a box cell. So once again, Lights is races for a couple of weeks and then decides to go MIA. Albeit, having said that, he did race. He has raced an impressive 12 times this season, so that's a new record for him. Boxtel, unfortunately, then not here either, and that's 4 races missed as well for Boxtel, and also and has also gone MIA in the last couple of weeks or so. So good stuff there. If I was part of the Mercedes camp, I'll be fuming. In the Constructors' Championship, or should I say the Joint Constructors, this is the closest Joint Constructors that we have ever had in a Grand Prix race. They're 26 points separates the McLaren and the Racing Bulls. Racing Bulls then elevate themselves to the top by the end of the race this time last week. But of course, then McLaren have got a really good strong team, haven't they? Throughout all the divisions there. So so it's going to be yo-yoing around, I think. Then Alpine are in third position. The Williams are in fourth, only 11 points away from the Alpine team. Aston Martin's only 22 points away from the Williams team. Ferrari are in sixth position at 64 points away. I think they'll be looking over their shoulder at the Kick Sauber team, who get most of their points usually from the Gold Championship in their quest. Haas on 538 points, 663 for 363 for the race, Red Bull team, and Mercedes are outrooted at the bottom of the joint constructors, and that ain't going to change here tonight, and probably going to change for the rest of the season either. No disrespect to the silver and bronze Mercedes drivers, but I think that Webb Stappen's the only representative for Mercedes this week in bronze, and then of course in silver, Jay Hings and Luke will be trying their best, but unfortunately, I think it's a very tall order indeed. Unfortunately, we've got 17 drivers in here, and we've got once again quarter of the grid is unfortunately reserve drivers as well. So that's why Mercedes not scoring tonight. Tom Huff will be racing in the Ferrari team, which means that Ferrari have only got one representative on the grid, which is Dilando. Then we've got McLaren have only got one representative on the grid tonight as well, which is in the form of Marquis. So McLaren will only be having one driver score. Red Bull have only got one driver, and so has Kieran. And so has Williams as well. But having said that, then I think they got Kieran in the car, which is a great. It should be a great barometer of what we might see from Kieran in Wednesday. Having said that, of course, though, I think that actually the 100% is all the way in Abu Dhabi already, isn't there? So Qatar, I think, has already been raced, hasn't it? I don't know. To be honest, last time I raced 100% in Qatar, it was something of a nightmare, and I don't really want to go down that route again because I think I had 42 seconds worth of penalties. Right, in terms of the form book, then, as we go into this championship fight here tonight, as we've got our final two drivers in there. In the last three races, Sam Swift Ninja has had a combined total of 75 points in from USA, Sao Paulo, and Las Vegas. From that same period, only 22 points for Immortal. Then that is the crux of the situation for AC Immortal. AC Immortal has won the event, the first ever 100% event league we did a few seasons ago, a few years ago actually now. But my goodness me, Sam Swift Ninja, three-time world champion in the last three seasons. I feel that Sam Swift Ninja has very much got the bit between his teeth, and a win here today will then elevate him to the Drivers' Championship Summit there, which will be the first time in a very long time. I think it's the first time since probably Miami, potentially even before then as well. I think it was actually, Saudi Arabia actually, because they was joint on top, weren't they, both Immortal and Sam Swift Ninjas, both joint leading the championship. Then from then, Ace Immortal really took the lead from round 5 onwards, but he has had a bit of a he's hit a bit of a bump there. Oh, am I ready to go? Says Swift. I am indeed. Then do I find a? Yes, I am. I can't do two things at once. Then, so hang on a minute. Let me just confirm that I'm ready to go. I am ready to go. Fantastic stuff indeed. Let me get the stream back up, as this is going to be good then. Right. So, as we now approach the finale of the World Championship, 2 rounds to go in this one there, it's mission critical, I think, for Immortal, isn't it? He needs to stop the rot, doesn't he? In terms of qualifying form around here over the past couple of seasons, it has been, of course, Immortal on pole position last season, so Immortal will be hoping that he replicates that form as well. But if Sam Swift Ninja wins like last season, then that means that he will lose the lead in the championship, and that is going to be the fundamental thing about tonight. Then is that Immortal is very much in striking distance now, isn't he? Sam Swift Ninja, after just really eating into that championship lead that Immortal had. It looked so comfortable in the mid stage of the season, but it's been whittled down by Sam Swift Ninja's relentless pace, relentless precision and focus to get the championship down to the wire as well. Of course, there was ramifications in bronze, wasn't there? After a collision with... I've not got my headset on. Goodness me. And then, of course, we've also got ramifications from bronze as well, where of course, then there is contact between Winnie and hungry stalls, and of course when he got a 5-second, 10-second penalty, I think it was, but that didn't make any difference. The Stars, he still finished down in 8th position, then, which meant that Reflections does have quite a nice lead in the championship at this moment in time now. And of course, Silver also on the edge as well. Sadly for you guys, you got me for all this week as well. Then I don't think you got me for I don't think you got me for the for 100% because I think Luke is back in, which I know you're all very happy about. But anyway, then Qatar is about to get going here tonight. Then, and of course, we are very close to the stadium at the World Cup final of 2022, which doesn't feel like almost 4 years ago now. That is quite scary indeed, isn't it? But yes, we are here in Qatar, round 19 of the Formula One World Championship. This is a tough technical circuit. Unlike Las Vegas last week, then it was a lot easier to overtake than I think it is, and we had multiple opportunities to overtake in Las Vegas. Whilst here tonight, it's going to be all about looking after those tires. It's also going to be looking after those lack of penalties as well, because I think the corner cutting around here is going to be quite high. Only one DRS zone around this circuit as well. It's a confident circuit as well. A load of medium and high speed corners, and especially at the end of the lap then, which I really struggled with, to be honest, and that's why I got a load of penalties, unfortunately. Serious Mission just said I'm early. How dare you? Of course, then we have to build up the crescendo, which of course is Qatar here tonight. And unfortunately, I've not taken my jumper off, which is annoying because I'm hot in my top half, but I'm actually pretty nippy on my old toes. And so I'm going to have to get me slippers wherever they are. Unfortunately, they're all the way on the other side, and I'm still in the 20th century with all these cables going on around me. Qualifying. And of course, I think Motor still has the out-and-out pace then in terms of qualifying, because I think in the last couple of races that Motor has been very much near the top of the stands. Having said that, he hasn't had pole position since the United States Grand Prix. Sounds like Ninja got pole position, only his third pole position of his season in Las Vegas. And Motor's already clinched the most pole position there with 9 there. He's got the most pole positions in history of gold then. And of course, if you look at the stats, we have got. If you look at the stats, and of course there's 31 pole positions for Motor, while Samsung Ninja has 31 Grand Prix wins, only 2 away now from Emerson, which of course Emerson has the all-time record of 33, I believe, and that's off the memory bank. And then it's the complete opposite then, because in terms of race wins, then for Motor he has 11, whilst Samsung Ninja has 11 pole positions. I think you can get the cut of my jib and all that kind of stuff there. We've got Tom Huffy out on circuit, and of course I think I'm a very big fan of Tom Huffy, and it's great to see him back in the car here tonight as well. So it's going to be a big night for Sauber, potentially. Can they keep the Constructors' Championship alive then? Only a Motor will be scoring for the Kick Sauber team now. Of course, I very prematurely, which is the story of my life, I prematurely crowned them Constructors' Championships last week. Of course, the Kick Sauber needs to score at least 22 points, I think, then to keep themselves in the Constructors' fight, then going into the final race of the season, which is going to be a nightmare for me because I'm bad at me math anyway. So that's going to be very tricky. But here comes Legend to start us on a journey. Legend, of course, has scored in the last 2 events there. 9th position in Las Vegas, and he got a 4th position in, an 8th position in Sao Paulo. Of course, every point is going to be crucial, I think, in Kick Sauber's quest for the Constructors' Championship, which I think will be Sauber's first ever Constructors' Championship in their history of ALR gold then. Anyway, flicking it into turn 1 then here. Of course, we're under the lights, and of course, the final 2 races are technically under the lights, albeit it's a dusk race, isn't it, in Abu Dhabi in a week's time now. Of course, so looking forward to that then. Of course, this time next week, it could potentially be all over, depending on how tonight's race is going to. I think that Amulta then could potentially be crowned world champion tonight then, because he has got 5 points difference. And Samsung Ninja needs to keep the gap under 26 points, under 25 points, and to keep the championship going, if that is my maths correct. Then Legends is more of a warm-up lap for Legends there, because he's not deploying any errors at all. So I'm going to stick with Huffy at the moment, and Huffy, I stay in that second Ferrari, of course, and Ferrari have had a bit of a difficult time in the last couple of races in terms of drivers. Then, of course, Menace Max said, Menace Max, I think it was, unfortunately decided to give up his seat towards the end of the season, and after a horror show season. And then we have Brooksy coming, but then Brooksy only drove once for Ferrari and is got MIA as well, so that's not ideal. So now Ferrari have now got to have super subs to finish off their season, so good stuff indeed, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm quite happy that we are going to gold to be on Monday nights then, because I think the Monday night seems to be a lot more in terms of stability. Huffy goes second, goes fastest there on a 22-0 then. Of course, as we mentioned, then ALR will be changing nights going forward. Then, of course, the event league will now be Sundays. I think still got to be voted in by the admins, but of course, then event league will be planned to be on Sundays then, and then Mondays will be gold, silver will be Tuesdays, and bronze will be Wednesdays, which of course, from my OCD, makes me very happy indeed. Justify has never finished a Grand Prix in silver, in a gold tonight, and unfortunately, Justify has not finished a Grand Prix in his last. I think he started his last 10 or 12 Grand Prix I was looking at when I seen his reserve tonight. He has not finished a Grand Prix in the last 12 attempts there. Immortal is out on circuit. Well, let's go on board with the championship leader, but that could be changed by the end of this one tonight. Huffy has still got pole position, but then Kieran comes across, and Kieran's going to be a major factor in this one tonight. He's very quick peddler indeed, Kieran is there. Of course, it was great to see him as Van Vaughn's gone fastest there by a 10th of a second. Kieran has been pretty impressive in the event league since stepping foot in that championship towards the end of this season. But of course, unfortunately for Kieran, he hasn't been able to drive full time in gold then. But with the pace that man's got, I do think that Kieran is going to be a major problem for the championship rivals here tonight then. Immortal then just coming into the final stage of the lap as well. Then sector 3 then is very much about carrying carrying it as much top speed as you can. Then we've got a car in front of us on the Ferrari of Huffy. I think that's Huffy anyway. As they get out of the way, then Immortal might have had a bit of dirty air being spat out the back of the scoot area. Immortal across the line now goes pole position there by quite a phenomenal margin there. Immortal, who hasn't been on pole position, it's a drought for him. Then of course for 31 pole positions in his career so far. Potstuff got his first points of the season last time out for the Williams team, and of course Potstuff had hoping to pick up the baton there as the only Williams representative here tonight. Of course, reserve drivers are not eligible to score, mainly because of the fiasco that happened in bronze a few seasons ago. Then it's Huffy being wheeled back into the garage. Legends there, 2/10 second up here is Sam Swift Ninja, who's invalidated already then, but of course he's got plenty of time to rectify that. Equals out on circuit, and I spelled Equals' name wrong. In all the races that Equals has participated in ALR, I've only just realised I've actually been spelling his name wrong for quite an umpteen number of races. Bradbury goes second fastest. Everyone is in the 21s at the moment. There's only one driver that has gotten into below that so far, and that is of course Immortal, the championship leader. If Immortal wins tonight, then he would not be crowned champion, of course. There, of course, that would then be down to what Sam Swift Ninja is doing. Here comes Equals at the top of the circuit, and let's see what Legends is doing. Legends has given Sam Swift Ninja a lovely toe there. Of course, this is the problem of not having a teammate then to really be on your side then for Grand Prix like this. Toes may not be the most important thing here tonight then, albeit it's quite nice to have down that start and finish straight. The only place where you can get a toe really, but with no full time, but with a certain the super sub of the Racing Bull in tonight. Then who is it? The Racing Bull super sub in tonight. Let me have a gander. It's Vessier. Night finishing Vessier might be open to give him a toe, but as Equals goes night fastest. But I do feel that. If Immortal still had his original teammate with him, they might have been able to be given a helping hand there. But unfortunately, that's not the case tonight. Here's Cannon, who's on such a good run of form, isn't it? Isn't Cannon? Sadly, Cannon will not be driving in gold next season. He cannot make Mondays, but he will be tackling the event league, of course, getting his first win of his career in all of AR, in all the AR genre of Formula. Of course, last time out in the event league, which is superb stuff indeed in Las Vegas. Great drive indeed, and a great battle between himself and teammate Kieran. Across the line comes Sam Swift Ninja and goes second fastest, 2/10 of a second away from his championship rival there. Sam Swift Ninja has really picked up the baton in qualifying as of late. Then Cam is invalidated since we last left him, which is about a couple of corners ago. So he's going to be kicking himself on that one. He's invalidated on the final corner as well. That is pressure on Cam then with just just 10 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Sebastian back in the car. Legends is still on circuit. He's done 4 laps now, Legends. As I reckon he's just trying to get a race run. And here's Markey. Markey won in Las Vegas for the first time in silver last time out, for the first time since the Australian Grand Prix. 43 for Marky then, but Marky helped McLaren win the Constructors' Championship, and I believe that is McLaren's first Constructors' Championship in their silver history. That is Marky and Mayran's first championship as well. Mayran also in the facility tonight as well. He's done a 21 there, Mayran. As Mayran has never finished in the top 10 of a gold race before that. Has the silver championship leader who's looking in fine vettor, but that's tomorrow night, of course. Can anyone beat 43 seconds of penalties tonight? Like toes and turtles, says Sirius Mushroom. I'm sure it's 42 seconds, Mushroom. You're salary short by a good man. Here's Marky, and now flying it into turn at 15 now. I'm not expecting to see safety cars tonight, as I was very confident I'll see a safety car in any of the Las Vegas races last week, and unfortunately for me, there wasn't none. Marky goes 9th fastest there, of course, so I'm hoping to get a second win on the bounce there, or is he going to help his teammate then? I must admit, I thought he might have helped his teammate last week in Las Vegas, but he didn't, did he? Legends out on circuit again, and he's done 5 laps on these soft compound tires. Now, this is more of a race run for Legends there, and of course, Legends knows that he is not concerned about the qualified. Well, he probably would be actually, because it is a race where you need to qualify high. But I think Legends is more concerned about getting the points for Kicksauer to keep Kicksauer in the Constructors' Championship. That could be won tonight. The Drivers' Championship is so close that I don't think it would be won tonight. I hope it's not won tonight, because I want to see a championship showdown in Abu Dhabi in a week's time then. And I must say, it'd be interesting to know what the drivers go through in terms of that week, in terms of the week build-up. Here's Kieran then in the Williamson Super subbing in tonight for Knowlesy, who's just enjoyed the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, and what a Grand Prix he was enjoying as well then for Knowlesy. But unfortunately for Knowlesy, but unfortunately for us, there was no... that car has gone right in the way of Kieran, and I think that Kieran is going to be absolutely furious there with that Haas car, because that has certainly impeded him there, and that might be referred to the steward then. And I think the head steward tonight is Farf, and he does crack the whip. Believe me, I've still got a sore bottom. Out of the final turn now comes Kieran. Is that going to hurt him? It has. Well, he's gained a half a tenth of a second now, and he's elevated himself in front of teammate Potstuff. But I feel that there's more in the piggy bank there, wasn't there? Good luck, Goldham, to Hammer Time. Come on, Potstuff, then. 43, Farf, give you an extra penalty. Give you an extra point then. Well, actually, yeah, but I'm still hurt that Farf gave me a license point because I was pitting quitting bronze a few seasons ago because I was ill. But I was very ill, to be honest. Yellow flag out there. Immortals on pole position has increased his advantage by doubled his advantage by 4/10 of a second from Sam Swift Ninja. Sam Swift Ninja, how's he going to respond? Someone's jumped up the order. Nameless up in his 6th position, the Aston Martin there for Nameless, and I think that he's probably had the most 11 positions in gold this season, and I think that would have served him well in the bronze in the event league. But of course, gold is only in the top 10, and in terms of the points, and how they're going to be dished out next season, who was that? That was Kieran off the circuit. Huffy goes 10 fastest. Great performance from Huffy. Then I would be lobbying to get Huffy in full time in gold. He's doing fantastically well. Evening short, of course, Camera Racer with a lovely donation again, which is fantastic stuff indeed. Brabbit has gone into 2nd fastest. Good luck to all drivers as well. And of course, Camera is very much paying for my bus fare. Brabbit up into 2nd fastest there. Is about 3/10 of a second away from Immortal at the moment. But Immortal, we know, is very quick on a single lap. Morris starts his lap then. Oh, Mad Max off the circuit there. He's had a bit of a difficult ride, hasn't he? In the since coming into Alpine, he has not scored yet in the Gold Championship for Mad Max. But Mad Max, of course, has a Grand Prix win. He does have the credentials for that incredible win in Zandvoort in the event league. Then here comes Cam. Then he invalidated on his final turn of his quick lap. So let's see what he can do then. And I'm looking at and that's off. And Cam is invalidated again. As of course the ultimate highs last time out then event league to maybe the ultimate lows. And Sam Swift Ninja is on circuit, and here is the triple world champion now. Out of the first sector, he's gone purple in the first sector. If he wins tonight, he will take the lead in the Drivers' Championship, whatever Mortal does. As of course, we're just keeping an eye on Sevasta as well, who is also on a quick lap, but we are concentrating on the championship, second in the championship, the world champion, which of course then uncanny. He's 3/10 of a second up in the 2nd sector. That's apparently not purple. Not purple at the moment though for South African Ninja, but that is in the facility, I think, of Immortal's pole position with just 4.75 minutes to go in this qualifying session there. Into turn 6 as well. The back end is trying to step out for the world champion then. Out of the final turn and can the kick somebody on pole? Yes, he can! By 300 of a second, the world champion on pole position there. And just like last week in Las Vegas, he is on pole position once again. And my goodness me, that might be a psychological blow then for Immortal, who's led the championship since Miami-ish in this championship showdown. Sebastian's elevated himself up into 9th position. Equals is coming into the pits then. What about Justify? Justify going up to 15th at the moment. Hoping to finish a race in gold tonight then. He's 15th at the moment. Legends are down in 16th. It's the slowest time runner so far. Cam, Mad Max, Morris and Delando have all not set times so far. Let's go Immortal then from Muta. Of course, Immortal will need all the help he can get, I feel, because the momentum, it depends if you believe in it or not, is certainly against the grain of the championship leader, because it's Sam Swift Ninja who is the man on form, and 75 points in the last 3 rounds compared to only 22 points for Immortal. Interesting stuff indeed then. Stagecoach, not cheap nowadays, says Real Ashton. Absolutely not. It's like £3 to get from here to Gloucester now, which is absolutely hurting my piggy bank then, which is shocking stuff indeed. Actually, it's £1.80 to get from here to Cinderford. I might just walk, really. There we go. So we've also got Camera. Get the bus for free. Hello from Brazil, says Knowlesy. Then, of course, Knowlesy, who watched a very enthralling Sao Paulo Grand Prix just a few moments ago. And, of course, what a race it was indeed. Then, of course, if you haven't watched that, I suggest you watch it. A great drive from Mad Max. It could be a great drive from Mad Max, but it was also a great drive from Max Verstappen as well. Legends are going very wide then, just to get out of the way of the Mercedes driver of Justify. Cam on an outlap. Then we've got Delando also on an outlap as well. Not set time has these two drivers just yet. Immortal, what can he do? Can he get on pole position? Of course, pole position for Immortal has not served him too well recently, has it then? But of course, getting on pole position is still the best place to be on. He needs to get himself back on form. Immortal has not been on the podium since the Italian Grand Prix 5 rounds ago. And pressure certainly on the championship leader. Good heavens above. Neil Pay says, Quells, good luck tonight, says Nosey. Hello from windy Derby, says Sirius Mushroom. And it's windy because Mushroom had a dodgy curry last night. Cars is out on circuit. What about Legends? Legends is not on that then, so we're going to stick with Cars for the minute then. And of course, these drivers said, okay, 16. Oh no, Cam is invalidated. Has he got enough fuel in this Red Bull to maybe just get one more time running in? And that is that Immortal? No, it's not. I was going to say that's not good for the Immortal, is it? Here is Immortal on the lap now then. He's gone early. Of course, Immortal in previous form and qualifying in this World Championship. It doesn't matter if he goes early or late, and he is very much the quickest driver pound for pound as he flicks it into turn 5, I think it is. I don't know where I am on the track map then, but I know that this is one of the heaviest braking points on the circuit there. Of course, that looks very controlled indeed for the World Championship leader. Accelerate away, not too much wheel spin. Lovely stuff indeed. Look at this, and it's so much of this is such a technical and difficult circuit there. Track limits is going to be, it could be painful for some, like it could even cost someone the World Championship there. Now we've got a Ferrari in front of us. Look at the oversteer there for Immortal. Is that from the dirty air from this Ferrari? And the Ferrari is stayed right in the way, and Immortals, oh my goodness me, Tom Huffy has got a 5-place grid penalty, and Immortal's not going to have his final run, and that is incredible. And the cars was just not looking where they were going. And Tom Huffy surely has damage as well, but the Ferrari driver on an outlap was not looking to see where he was going. Was not looking to see what the driver was doing in his wing mirrors. And Immortal is Immortal's on a quick lap, and that is he is going to be absolutely furious with that then. And my goodness gracious me. Oh no, Immortal's got damage as well, so he ain't going to be able to get a time on the board for also, but he's going to be second. I feel the track conditions are just getting quicker and quicker, but Immortal, I think, is just, of course, the stewards will probably look into this, but it doesn't matter now from Immortal's point of view, because that's not going to get his time back, and Immortal is going to be lambasting the Ferrari driver as Huffy's dropped down into 13th position. Soundswift Ninja is on a lap. Brabbit is on a lap as well. Brabbit is in the second part of the lap there and almost running wide, but just about keeping it on there. Unfortunately, thanks Sean saves me watching it later, as Serious Russian has not watched the Brazilian Grand Prix. I can tell you what the result was. Nottingham Forest is better nowadays, and of course since Sean Dyche has been in the facility, they've been doing fantastic. I think Sean Dyche has got more wins than both the two managers previously put together. Marquis stays 11th. Mad Max is in 9th position. Great performance there. Versier down in 15th. Down in 17th is justified. Brabbit, they're right in that curb there. I wonder if he's going to lose a bit of momentum. That's on pole position for Brabbit then. He's currently going for a second pole position of the season. And that has moved Immortal down into 3rd position. What about Flippy? He's invalidated. Van Von is also crawling into the pits as well. Sam Swift Ninja then is 2/10 of a second up and currently going for his second pole position of the row. And his 4th pole position. They're going almost off the circuit there, but keeping it just about on the circuit. Out of the final turn now then for Sam Swift Ninja. And he's going to go for pole position the 4th time of the season and across the line. And it is pole position there by 2/10 of a second there. And this is a very crucial stage of the season as there's as Legends goes in 18th fastest there. Flippy's invalidated. I think he has indeed. Soundswift Ninja pole position once again, and it is pole position number 4 of his season for Sam Swift Ninja, and 2 in a row in Las Vegas and here tonight as well. That takes his all-time tally to 12 pole positions of his career. My goodness me! But I think that I think the talk after qualifying is going to be certainly about that Ferrari that got in the way of Immortal, unfortunately, and potentially is that cost him pole position. Well, we do not know, even though the lap looked pretty good when he was on board with him, but of course he needed to finish off the lap without extending or going over those lines out to have issues with track limits. But I do feel that is a very costly outcome then. As Wowzer says, Equal said, Ferrari, as Muta said, Ferrari invent mirrors someday. As yes, not ideal at all there, but Huffy does finish 12th there, but does get a 5-place group penalty, so the stewards might not need to be involved. So I was Ninja on pole position by over a 10th for a second there, which is pretty good then. Jamie just confirmed he blocked zone on his lap as well then, and fortunately Jamie is also trying to give some of the slipstream as well. Of course, a very handy slipstream around here then. Of course, as we go into the Grand Prix itself now then. So, that was an action-packed qualifying as RIP ALR Gold Sundays. However, we will be replacing it with the Event League as well, of course. And so it's not all doom and gloom. Then, of course, the Event League will be taken over from our gold slot here tonight. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will be the championships then of a gold, silver, and bronze. Of course, that needs to be all voted through and all that kind of jazz. And of course, all admins have to agree with it and all that kind of malarkey. Which, of course, so I think the discussions are still preliminary. Like with another big change is potentially of having the bronze points go back to just 1 to 10 from 1st to 10th position. And I'm not sure about the Event League as well. That may also revert, but of course that is all being discussed. So that none of it has been locked in just yet. Immortal needs to lock in, I feel. Third on the grid. If it finishes how it starts, then Soundswift Ninja will have a 10-point lead in the championship going into the final race. Hard tires for Immortal. That may pull him a bit. That may make him a bit vulnerable to the drivers behind him, because everyone around him is on the hot medium compound tires. Marky's gone hard as well, as has Pot Stuff. Justify, Huffy, Legends, and Morris also hard. Delando is gone medium. Let's go through the grid then. Qatar in the second to last race season on this 20-round World Championship. Sam Swift Ninja, of course, could take the lead of the championship for the first time since Saudi Arabia. Round 4 of the championship here tonight. The triple world champion then currently it's in an absolute fine battle. He's had 3 wins in a row. He has been on the podium in the last 4 races. Of course, he won USA, he's won Sao Paulo, and he won Las Vegas as well. As Sam Swift Ninja's at DNF in Italy, he was feeling very despondent, but he has really elevated himself back in it since that DNF. Sam Swift Ninja pole position for the 12th time of his career. Bravitt is alongside him on row 1. Immortal didn't get his final time in there, and I think that he is going to be feeling a bit aggrieved. It's all going against him, isn't it, in the latter stage of this championship. Flippy in 4th position in that McLaren. Van Von is in 5th there, with Mayran in 6th position, and Nameless is in 7th, with Potstuff in 8th. Kieran in 9th, and Savasta is complete in the top 10. Mad Max in 11th position. Caddy having strong performance after the horror show of Las Vegas. Marquis in 12th. Cam in 13th. Didn't get his. I think he only got one run at the end in 13th. Equals in 14th. He is strong with pace. Equals is unfortunately. You can see in the background the World Cup final stadium there. 15th is Bessier. Is of course Super 79. Justify has not made it through the formation lap there. Tom Hufford, of course, a very controversial incident between himself and the championship leader in qualifying. Legends in 18th position. What can Legends do? Can he keep it? Can he keep the kick salver in the championship fight then as we come into the final stages then? Morris in 19th, 20th is Delando. And look at that then, there's already a problem there for Immortal as he has not lined up correctly on the grid then. He's going to lose himself a couple of millimeters on the grid then. As they all line up now for the start of this Qatar Grand Prix. Round 19 of season 13 of the championship. 5 points separate Sam Swift Ninja and Immortal in the championship crescendo here. It's a 2-stop, says Goku. It's hard, sir. First stint is a big mistake. Now then, we're waiting for those lights to come on then. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a pause. And we are racing here in the desert of Qatar. And how have they all gone away then? Immortal has got away decently well, but Flippy is already on the inside then. Bravitt's had a so-so start, but Immortal is trying to stay on the outside. They will have the inside into turn 2. That McLaren can sneak up and under, and Flippy has stuck up and under, but Immortal needs to keep in front of the McLaren. But Flippy doesn't care about Immortal's championship credentials, and he's down into 4th already. And Immortal then, Immortal, who feels he probably should be a bit higher up on the grid then, as we got a lot of drivers there that swap position. Then Cam on the outside of I think that is Equals. It is Equals in the Red Bull, and Cam is going to be up the inside of that Mercedes, and somehow he slows the car down. Remarkable break in from Cam there. That's incredible. How did he do that? And look at this. So there's Marquis and Equals in a final full position. Of course, Marquis on the hard tyres. Problems. Something's gone wrong at the back. There's yellow flags. What has happened there? That's one of the cars. As Mayran has dropped right down to the back of the field. Morris is off, and he's gone into the wall quite heavily, and we do not know what happened there. So he had a long shot, but Morris has gone into the wall quite heavily. He's reversed into the back of the wall. And oh dear, what's happened to Morris? And I'm sure that's going to damage the rear wing of that Haas car, and that Morris could be out of this race before he's even got going there. As a current to complete lap 1 there, and Sam Swift Ninja knows that he knows what job he's got to do now as he leads the race with Bravitt in 2nd position. 3rd is Flippy. Mortal's already out of DRS range. DRS will be available on this lap then as he come through to complete lap 2, or lap 1 I should say then. And you can see, look at that there, they are very much almost off the circuit there, aren't they? As Nameless into a superb 6th there. 7th is Pot Stuff. We got a great old battle here between Vessier and Huffy in the battle for 14th and 15th position there. Huffy cuts across the Red Bull, the Racing Bull I should say, and up into 15th position. Legends is up 2 positions. Delando is up 3 positions as well. Mayran dropping down into 19th position. Unfortunately, he's had the worst start of tonight then. 3 positions is Cam and Tom Huffy and Delando. Both Ferraris have done a very good job off the start here. As Symphony Spin says that serious mushroom there, so I'm wondering if Morris got caught out potentially. On board now with Van Boden, of course. Immortal's the only driver on the hard tyre from the top 6, and of course then we have Pot Stuff also on the hard tyres in 7th position as well. The 2 Alpines looking strong in 8th and 9th position, but we've got a long way to go in this race. 29 laps here in Qatar here tonight then, and we are expecting a lot of penalties here tonight. I'm not expecting safety cars, but I am expecting a lot of penalties there. We'll keep an eye on those penalties as tonight transpires. Mayran has got past his teammate Justify. Both Mercedes are not eligible to score points for the constructors tonight, so they're just racing for pride, and that's going to be horror show for Mercedes. They're going to drop further down in the constructors championship, unfortunately. Southswift Ninja set the fast up racer. Look at Immortal. Immortal is trying to defend then from Van Von. And here comes Van Von. Immortal's already harvested. And here comes Van Von. And he is through and up into fourth position. There goes Van Von. Then Savasta's got past Potstuff. The hard tire runners are dropping down the order. Savasta's also got past the hard shod Potstuff as well. Is going on the hard tires. A mistake there. Look at the battle at the front then. Southswift Ninja, Brabbit and Flippy. These of course 3 of the top 4 in this championship there. I think that these 3 drivers are certainly are race winners, aren't they? And maybe if they're all racing in gold next season, I feel that these 3 along for Walter will be it's going to be a 4-way, I think, in the championship, similar to Abu Dhabi in 2010 potentially then. But I'm counting my chickens before they hatch. Let's get on with this season first. Flippy is going to have a lot of dirty air off the back of that Haas and that kick Sauber as well. So it's going to be quite a painful experience out for the McLaren Mercedes car at the moment. Haas are currently in second with Brabbit. Van Von is now over DRS range behind. Immortal is reeled back in. Kazi is still just about within DRS, and that could be crucial, I think, for the for Immortal's race at the moment. But currently, as it stands, he will lose the lead in the Drivers' Championship with just 1 round to go. And as it stands, this will go into the finale in Abu Dhabi in a week's time then, between Southswift Ninja and Immortal. Southswift Ninja certainly has the advantage so far. Van Von has set the fast on the race. He's absolutely flying out there at the moment. Here's Mad Max. Can he get past Potstuff down the start-finish straight? There's only one real overtaking opportunity on this circuit, and it's this part of the circuit here. And up the inside there goes Mad Max. Potstuff is going to hang it on the outside. How long? Oh, contact there. Goodness me. Contact between Mad Max and Potstuff, and they both spin. And that is going to be horror for both drivers there. Mad Max jumped down the order. They made contact out of the exit of turn 1, and now they've made more contact into turn 2. Unfortunately, Huffy trying to get past, but Mad Max there trying to defend it off there. His Potstuff got down, so he's trying to fend off Justify, who is now in 19th position at the moment. Jamie Morris is still going there. Good stuff indeed there from Morris, but down in 20th position, unfortunately. So not ideal so far for the Haas team out there. That's very unfortunate indeed. And now, so the Immortals dropped out of DRS there, hasn't he? Unfortunately, Kieran in 9th position moment in the Williams car. He's currently keeping tabs on Cam. He's made his way up to 8th position after a difficult qualifying. Cam is probably a lot more happier in race trim, isn't it? Very similar to Max Verstappen potentially. Mark in 11th position. 12th is Mad Max dropping down the order. Huffy in 13th. Vessier in 14th position, trying to get past Huffy in that Ferrari car. Southswift Ninja has got a 6/10 of a second advantage so far. Let's see how this race transpires. It's usually the second stint where Southswift Ninja really comes alive. Here's Legends also making his way up the order as well. He's up to 15th position now. Legends has got a part to play in the outcome of the Constructors' Championship. Kieran has got past a Williams car as we're just looking to see if no dice at the moment as no, it's Cam, wasn't it? So yeah, Cam is lost out there, and there is and he's dropped down into 9th position at the moment. Back at the front, and this is the state of the race so far. Sanchez, Ninja, and Brabbit then, and then we got Flippy as well, the top 3, and Van Von now in a 4th position there. Good stuff indeed there for. Good stuff indeed there for Van Von there to really elevate. Oh, Cam's got the first 3-second penalty of today. Good stuff indeed for Van Von there. He's reduced the arrears quite quickly, but I'm wondering if these drivers are probably in fuel conserving mode then, and also probably tyre conserving mode as well. Of course, there's a lot of things you have to worry about in Formula 1, isn't there? Sadly, it's not sadly, or maybe not then. It's not a flat-out race for these drivers anymore. There's going to be a lot of things that they are looking after in the Grand Prix. Tyres is one of them. Fuel is another. You also got to make sure you do not deplete your ERS deployment there, because that could be costly down the start-finish straight as well. All 20 runners and drivers are still racing so far. And so pit stops then. I heard that Hungry Stars was saying it might be a 2-stopper here. I thought it was going to be a straightforward 1-stopper. If it's a 2-stopper, do you think it's going to be medium soft, or is it going to be medium hard? I thought it was going to be a 1-stop from medium to hard tires. Tire wear around here is probably it's going to probably be quite high due to how fast these corners are. It's going to really eat the tires alive, I feel. So I don't think we're going to see much of the soft tires in this one, but of course we all know that I'm usually absolutely hopeless when it comes to strategy, as I always get it wrong more often than not then. Lap 6 of this race, Sam Swift Ninja leads 5/10 of a second there. We've got Brabant and Flippy then second and third position there. Flippy going a bit wide there on the curb there. That's not going to help the traction too much on that McLaren Mercedes then. Of course, I think we're a bit away from pit stops just yet, but when the pit stops do come in there, there's going to be undercuts, I feel. But of course, which will be very helpful indeed. But you have to find a gap in this race, don't you? It's not like Las Vegas where you can where you've got multiple opportunities to overtake cars in front of you. You've got to find a gap then, and of course, if you get stuck behind any car in the second or third sectors of this Grand Prix, or even first to be fair, then I feel that that could be curtains for your undercut advantage there. So drivers have also got to think on their feet as well. And look at that, Immortal is now starting to rein in now the top 5. So a bit of a difficult start for Immortal. He's lost 2 positions as the championship leader, but now he is back on there. Hards are working now, says Knowlesy, and that's absolutely right. Of course, Knowlesy from Viva Sao Paulo. I'm in the wrong county there, wasn't I? I was going to say Las Vegas, but we're in Qatar, aren't we? But Markey is through past the set quals, and just as Knowlesy said then, of course, Knowlesy very much the strategy brain, as I just mentioned that, and Markey has underlined that point and got himself over the 10th position there. Mayran has ran out wide then, and Delano also getting a 3-second penalty earlier on in this lap, then, or the lap before, I should say, in 16th position. Mayran in 17th, and Mayran has got an enviable record at the moment of not scoring a single point in his 11 starts or something like that. His 8 or 11 starts he's got in gold. Unfortunately, there's definitely they're definitely coming alive. That says Serious Mushroom. And a good job it's not Halloween. That's all I say about that, isn't it? So this race is ticking along. On in lap 7 of the Grand Prix, you can see there's the top 4. Then you see in the background the white racing ball of Immortal. Then currently at the stands at the moment there, I think the constructors. I don't know. I think that the constructors will be one still with Racing Bull scoring. Even though it's only 8 points, I still think Racing Bull 10 points. To say the Racing Bull will still be the constructors championship. But of course, I will not lock that in stone like I did last week. Of course, as now it's completely wrong. So I'll go to get out my old calculator and spreadsheet before the end of this one. But we were worried about the constructors when we're in the twilight of this Grand Prix. Immortal is in DRS range as well, into the pits. So that's a very early stop for the Aston Martin driver. It's Cam into the pits now, and there the Aston Martin mechanics are in the British Racing green outfit. Into the pit they come down. That's a Ferrari also in the pits as well. Delano's in the pits there. And a Cam on hard tyres. So it's 20 laps on those hard tyres if he wants to get to the end of the race there. Delano also on the hard tyres as well. I must say that's a big ask, isn't it? Wrong county and country, says Serious Worship. And what makes it worse is I'm sure I passed geography as well. But to be fair, we was in Las Vegas last week then, so that's my defence, and I'm sticking with it then. As we're just on board now with Van Von, who's of course got a McLaren in front of us doing a lot of harvesting now. Of course, the rain light is on, not because we expect rain, or not because Flippy expects rain, because that is harvesting now. Of course, he needs to do a lot of deployment in this part of the circuit here, ready to deploy it down the start-finish straight, of course, and just to keep up with his rivals there. Immortal is now very much with it, and Van Von is the first of the top runners, the first of the top 10 there to get a penalty for the Red Bull driver, and of course, that is going to be crucial. Might be medium hard, medium, says Nosey. Oh, so we are going to have a multiple stop race, and I'd like to see that then, of course. So, yeah, so maybe Cam and Dylan might be thinking about going for hards on this. Well, they are thinking about going hards on this stint now. As Immortal was out of scene now, and I was like, where's he gone then? Of course, that is crucial for the outcome of the World Championship, of course. And look at this, and his Equals has lost out to Mad Max, who's got some speed in the Alpine tonight, hasn't he? But I think that Equals is struggling. He's lost out to 2 positions. Huffy's up into 11th position there. Mad Max up into 10th position. Mayran is gone through on the inside of Vester. Of course, 2 silver drivers there. Super 7 into 9 for gold here tonight, and doing a good job both of them, because I know really hustling. Oh, Pot Stuff getting a 3-second penalty. Unfortunately, we caught him red-handed now, didn't we? As we just said, we go off the circuit. Vestier now up into 50th position. Pot Stuff, unfortunately, down to 16th. Is not recovering as well as his adversary, Mad Max, who's now back up into 10th position there. Pot Stuff is on the harder tyre, though, and I'm wondering if it's just taking a little while longer to get himself back into race trim potentially. Sam Swift Ninja leads the way currently. Second position is Brabham. Flippy in third position. That is the top three in this race. Van Vorn has got a 3-second penalty down in fourth. That elevates Immortal back up to fourth then, but that is in terms of the race time at the end of this race there. He has still got Van Vorn, the Red Bull, in his facility and certainly going to hurt his tyres. So, and then we've got Nameless, he's dropped 3 seconds back, and now Savasta is in at 7th position in the Alpine. Kieran is in 8th position. Then we have got this battle between Markey, as Justified's got a 3-second penalty. Markey, followed by Mad Max, followed by Tom Huffy, and then Equals, also in the facility as well, in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. 3-second gap between Equals and Legends. Then we've got an almighty gaggle of cars who are fighting tooth and nail, and here they are. Here comes Potstep, and all over the back of Bessie, who's harvesting, and that's not the best place to harvest for the race, but I think he used too much deployment, and now the Williams up the inside. And look at that Mercedes Justified having a sniff up the inside of Vessia. No dice so as they go into turn one. But Potstep now up to 14th position. He needs to go. He cannot lose another 10th for a second because he'll be out of DRS there, which of course DRS, the drag reduction system, or DRS, or whatever you like to call it. I call it DRS because I'm lazy. Whoa, as I gotta say, Van Von might also be needing a new pair of underpants after that one, because that was a big old slide there. May not have looked it in the cockpit, but I must say that that slide was certainly catches attention. The top 5 are now condensed into each other. Sam Swift Ninja, Brabham, Flippy, Van Von and Immortal, all very much there, can see each other quite easily now, and very much putting pressure on each other as well. Dylan has got a 3-second penalty. We're not even a half distance yet in this Grand Prix. We are edging towards half distance, and so I feel if the medium tires can get this far, then surely the hard tires can as well. And into the pits there comes Van Von then. So Van Von is the first of the top rows into the pits. Here comes the Red Bull machine now. We'll keep an eye then. You can see on the left-hand side, Tara, keep an eye on that Red Bull. What tires are going to go on, and who's that coming in the pits? I think that's one of them. It's Savasta into the pits as well for Alpine. And I think both Alpines are into the pits, and Mad Max may not be too far. There's the Alpine. Oh, no, wait. That's a terrible. Oh, goodness me. An Alpine of not choreography that stopped there. That's not the right word, is it? But let's go with it. Into the pits comes Vessia as well, onto the hard tires. The hard tires then. Can they go to the end then? I think they can, but of course that is just me, and let's be honest about it. Do not trust me, because my strategy calls it 100% has been pretty poor as well. Call it mom next. Call it mom next year then, says Nosey. When it comes to when it comes to the, I keep calling it attack mode, and it's not. Is it? That's Formula E, which, by the way, of course, Formula E have unveiled a very, very nice looking Gen 4 car. It looks very good indeed. Then I quite liked it, to be honest. But whether it's of course one thing that is good about Formula E is, of course, the cars are not very dependent on aerodynamics. So that does look quite aerodynamic heavy, says me. Of course, I do not know a lot of things. I've got an email from Now TV. Fantastic. Right, and look, they're all in the pits then. So all on lap 11 and Sam Swift Ninja in the pits, and the world champion. And as it stands, will take the lead in the drivers' championship. There's the McLaren mechanics, and you'll see that we'll also have the Haas mechanics out as well. The Kick Salmon mechanics are also ready there for the world champion, the constructors champion as well. Yellow flag while it's happening in the background. It's a Mercedes. It's Justify off the circuit, and Justify is trying to do a 3-point turn out of the gravel. I think that is. There. Justify, unfortunately, that is going to hurt him badly, isn't it, in terms of the amount of time he's lost trying to get out of Vessier has got a 3-second penalty. In the pit stops then, Sam Swift Ninja has kept his advantage over Brabham and Flippy as well, but he's actually gained about half a second there, which could actually help him get out of DRS. Now, this is where Sam Swift Ninja normally comes alive in these kind of races there, isn't it? Where it really starts to put his toe down, and it certainly loves the hard tires. And look at that, the gap is 1.2 seconds. 1.3 now between Brabham himself there. Interesting stuff in this one then. So Sam Swift Ninja, if he's out of DRS range of Brabham, that means he can now focus on his own race and won't use up those tire life and as much as potentially he was doing in the opening stint there. all pitted very wrong. Van Von pitted a lap earlier, going for the undercut, but I'm wondering if the hard tires just took too long to undercut there. And look at that, diving up the inside. Van Von has got the advantage, but there's Sounds of Ninja. Yellow flag is justified. It's had an issue coming on the pits. I'm not sure. The Mercedes driver having a yellow flag there. I'm wondering if he had issues with the pit lane speed limits there, just not going off on that Mercedes car. Van Von all over the gearbox now with Flippy, and they fly into turn 15 now. Of course, Van Von's already got a 3-second penalty. He do not want to take liberties. Kieran is the only driver out on the hard tyres still. A medium tyre side on the start of the medium tyres anyway. Everyone else has gone to hard now. Here comes Van Von then. I thought the Van Von be all over the gearbox of Flippy, but Flippy has very much weathered the storm with the Red Bull driver. And now then, Brabant is almost 2 seconds away now. As goodness gracious me, and Nameless has lost out as Savasta using that to undercut to perfection and elevate himself past Nameless. And I think that Nameless, I'd be quite disappointed by that. And what if the Aston Martin mechanic should have brought him in a lap earlier then to save himself from the undercut? But it's easier said than done, of course. I was saying, let's see how long Savasta's tyres last. Cam in the background pitted earlier on then, so that is why he's a bit further up the road than what he was on the earlier stint of this race. Sam Swift Ninja now starting to put his toe down, and they're gaining quite heavily on Legends, who could potentially become a bit of a roadblock in terms of the battle between Brabant, Flippy and Van Von, which would very much certainly help Sam Swift Ninja then. Whether that will be done or not from the Constructors Champions at Kick Sauber, hoping to retain the Constructors Champions on Sauber, but I must say it's looking a very difficult tall order, even with Sam Swift Ninja on such a good run of form at the moment. Lovely shot here from the specially chrome McLaren Mercedes head all over the gearbox of Brabant, who has struggled to fire off his tyres well, it's because Sam Swift Ninja's absolutely rockets in the way. Kieran has had enough of the medium tyres, he's in the pits now. Out of the final turn then, out of the final turn we come now. Sorry, I was looking for a bottle of water and my bottle of squash, and I couldn't find where I put it. Marquis all over the back of Huffy, who was second and third at the moment. Flippy on the outside. No, he's not, because look at that. As Mark's got a 3-second penalty, they're going side by side. As Brabant is struggling on these tyres at the moment, and because of that, I feel that Flippy then would like to get past quite pronto here, because you can see that the kicks out. There is Sam Swift Ninja. No, it's Legends actually, because Sam Swift Ninja's already passed his teammate. As the kicks out, Sam Swift Ninja just absolutely absolutely running away, hasn't he, up the road? As it stands, Molto will be behind these drivers, and of course, as he would be having to do a lot of overtaking, and I'm wondering if that is why the alternative strategy is possibly not the way to go. There was just a quick glimpse of Sam Swift Ninja. He's now catching up to the back of Pot Stuff, and actually, I'm said that though, but of course, these drivers are going to be hurting each other when it comes to trying to come through the pack now. Just watching Sam Swift Ninja there, and of course, he's going to be a dirty air of Pot Stuff, but he would be, I think he's catching him in a decent time in this circuit, because we're coming up to the start-finish straight. Motor is, of course, staying with it. Of course, I think he's got another couple of laps before he comes in the pits. Has the championship leader into the final turn then. Pot Stuff, and I'm not sure he's not going to defend this one too hard. It's Pot Stuff as he's trying to recover after an early spin, after a contact with, I think, himself and Mad Max maybe around at the back. He's got a 3-second penalty. Marquis and Tom Huffy all over the gearbox as well. Look in the background there, so Sam Swift Ninja has got through, and look, Legends there is on the inside, but on the outside is the freshly shot hard McLaren, and through another 7th position. Legends down into 8th there, and Kaz would like to have got past as well, but unfortunately from Kaz's point of view, he's going to have to overtake at this part of the circuit here as well. There's a short straight, but I think that would have been very dangerous to do that. So Van Von needed to get through on that start-finish straight, and he didn't, unfortunately, and that could be costly there. And you can see he's now followed the leader on this part of the circuit, which is very much there after you, sire, isn't it? You cannot get through on this part of the circuit unless you have a much more abundance of speed, which Van Von does not at this moment. And he has fresher tyres, but Legends there is certainly no easy driver to get past, is he? And of course, Van Von there, almost losing it. Well held from Van Von, but that must be frustration. And also the dirty air coming off of the back of that Kick Sauber. Huffy's got a 3-second penalty, unfortunately, in the Ferrari. But Huffy driving a superb race. And Legends got 3-second penalty as well, so he's on board as he went wide. Legends is out of DRS now, which is going to also impact Kaz, who's also out of DRS range as well. Legends on the inside there, and I think he's going to, he is coming in the pits there. So Van Von then needs a big lap here to keep himself in DRS. He has a 1 lap older tyres as well. Marquis is on the, it was on the outside then from Huffy, but Huffy driving superbly well in this in this race at the moment. They're doing a great job then, and keeping Marquis, who won last time out in silver. So Huffy really showed his credentials of being maybe the next Grand Prix winner in ALR, certainly, but driving superbly well tonight there. He did have an infringement in qualifying. In a qualified note, didn't he there? Which I don't think he's going to be taken too kindly by the Race and Ball team. He is 13 seconds back at the moment. I almost swallowed me tongue. The gap is about 17 seconds back between Samsung Ninja and Immortal. Yellow flag then for Justify, and that's the same corner again then. On turn 15 now, Justify hopefully needs to get the car going then. That might just be covered under double waved yellows, and so he shouldn't need a safety car then, but it is so difficult this circuit, especially when the tyres have gone. And if you get a lot of heat in the tyres, that is it. You're going to be spinning like a Beyblade. And unfortunately, I think that's what Justifies having an issue with the moment. Into the pits comes the Mercedes driver, and into the pits also comes Marquis and Huffy as well. What a battle these two are having. And of course, Soundswift Ninja is now then only got Immortal in front of him then. So Immortal would probably like a safety car around about now, wouldn't he? But at the moment, there doesn't seem to be any safety cars coming. Pot stuff, who is in third? No, he isn't anymore because Brabbitt's through. Flippy, I thought was going to get through as well there, but he just did. Now he's got the same problem that Van Von had last up. But I haven't said that. Flippy is all over the gearbox of the Williams driver. As I think the pot stuff, is going to be an easier. It's going to be an easier touch then compared to the kicks out. But no, he's not. Then is he? Because look at that. He is. He's not going to wave these drivers through. He's got his own race to run. Has pot stuff and is going long like Immortal has there. But look at this. And it's up the inside goes Flippy, passes pot stuff, and away he goes. Oh, and there's contact at the exit. And the exit of the corner, I should say. Good grief. My word. And now can Van Von through. He does get through as well. I think that might be the Williams car, just not too happy on those hard tyres. Van Von, though, has got back within a second of Flippy. But unfortunately for Van Von, when he was doing that, you may have seen a 3-second penalty flash up on the screen. And because of that, Van Von is going to be losing 6 seconds at the end of his race time. World Championship leader into the pits now. It is Immortal. We're looking for the Race and Ball mechanics then. As it stands at the moment now, I do not know if Race and Ball are going to be constructed or not. I have to get my calculator out. Into the pits now, then comes Immortal. Soundswift Ninja then is just coming across on. He will have quicker tyres and he might be able to get himself back up in a second. Then Brabbitt set a fast lap of the racer. I feel that Soundswift Ninja has checked out here, and as it stands, will take the lead in the Drivers' Championship with just 1 round to go. He's going to get out in front of the Aston Martin then. And of course, I don't think Immortal even wants anything part of this battle, because Sebastian and Nameless, who have been very much at war with each other since the pit stops, and Kieran is also involved as well, and Kieran on fresher, harder tyres, which could be crucial in the outcome of this Grand Prix. So there's Immortal trying to fire up now then, but Immortal is currently losing more points than more points to Soundswift Ninja in the Drivers' Championship. Soundswift Ninja, of course, is the first ever driver to win 3 championships. Could be the first ever driver to win 4 championships, and 4 championships in a row as well. Soundswift Ninja has not been defeated in a championship since he stepped foot into ALR Gold back at the end of season, in the middle of season 10. He's been absolutely phenomenal. And he is showing his class once again. Is Soundswift Ninja currently on course there to win his 32nd Grand Prix of his career tonight there, which would be 1 away from the all-time record in ALR Gold, which is 33, which is set by Emerson way back in season 6, I think it was there. So that has been many moons ago. That's almost like oh goodness gracious me, that's 7 seasons ago. That's incredible something. I was going to say something clever there, but I forgot. Cabot's got another penalty there. Then we're on board, and Morris down in 16th position there. Van Von is coming to the pits again then. So the Red Bull driver is coming to the pits then, and it's now going exactly what Knowles has said then. It's going from medium hard to medium here then. So maybe I'm counting our chickens for the hatch, because look who's in the pits as well. Tom Huffy sends the pass up the race. In the background, that is Cam also into the pits. And Legend has got a 3-second penalty in his quest for points here tonight. And who's that just gone through? I think that was one of the... I don't know who it was, to be honest. Vessier's in trouble though, and here comes Morris up into 14th position, steams through, passes the Racing Bull, but Morris has gone wide, and now here comes Vessier on the outside of Morris, but Morris is having none of it whatsoever. It shows him the strong arm. Oh, was there a bit of contact there? Maybe, because Legends on the outside of Vessier, and Legends is through, also up into 15th position as well. Van Bonny just sitting in front there, of course, now on medium tires. It's going to be quick at this stage of this race. Whether those hard tires can get to the end or not, I do not know, but I'm surprised, to be fair. I thought the hard tires should get to the end easily from when those drivers came into the pits. As just watching Legends and Morris and who's let Legends go, and through goes Potster, forcing his way past the Racing Bull of Vessier, and up into 6th position. All 20 drivers still remaining in this race, and hats off to him. Kieran's got a 3-second penalty. That could be costly. Nameless is in 5th. Savassa's in 6th position. Kieran, who's pushing on, is now on the medium. No, he isn't. Nameless, then, who is of course in 6th position there. As I've forgotten what I was saying because I read Serious Russia's comments. I blame Serious Russia there. Savasta is now down to 7th position. And Kieran up to 6th, but of course Kieran does have a 3-second penalty. These strats are all messed up, says Sirius Musher. Huffy's through, and over to 9th position there. Now we have got Markey has got through, and look at that Red Bull cutting across. That's Equals cutting across, and getting past. Oh, the Mercedes has been lapped there. So Mayran is now up into 10th position there. 9th position is the Tom Huffy there. So Serious Russian feels that the strategy's all messed up then. So I'm a bit surprised to see a 2-stopper, to be honest, I must say. But let's see what Van Von can do then. But he's down in 30th position there with just 10 laps to go in this race. That's a long way to go. That's not a long way to go. That's not a long time at all then for Van Von then to get himself back through the field then. He's going to be on fresher tires. First, you've got a 3-second penalty as Delano has come into the pits there and thrown a set of soft tires in that Ferrari. Caught him in no man's land, unfortunately. That's it, blame me, says Serious Russian. Absolutely, because it can never be my fault, can it? If only. Gaff at the front, almost 4 seconds. And Flippy is still within DRS range. Immortal is now within 3 seconds of Flippy and Brabant. And Immortal is going to have to do some overtaking. Currently, he's 8 seconds behind with 8 laps to go. That's quite a tall order, isn't it, for Immortal then? I think salvaging a second position today will still mean that the championship will swing into Sam Swift Ninja's advantage then, but the gap will be about 2-3 points ish as we go into the final race in Abu Dhabi in a week's time, of course there. And my goodness gracious me, it is going to be very much a long week for those drivers, isn't it? In terms of they're just going to see preparation, and going to be very interesting indeed about those drivers. This is our first championship crescendo in gold since season 2. A lot of the championships have normally been wrapped up with a couple of races to go, especially in recent years since Soundswift Ninja's been involved, and he has certainly had the championship wrapped up with a race or 2 or maybe even 3 before, hasn't he? But this season he has certainly worked for it, and how he's come from so far back has been absolutely phenomenal, hasn't it? But it is not all done and dusted yet. Immortal, of course, in that middle part of the season was absolutely phenomenal as well when Soundswift Ninja's on the back foot. Now all of a sudden then the momentum has swung back into Soundswift Ninja's court in the last 4 races or so, whilst Immortal's not been scoring the mega points that he's needed, and not been scoring the big points, the double figure points, and from 5th and above, and because of that, that is why the championship is so close, and with just 1 round to go after tonight. My goodness gracious me. On board once again with Kieran then, who is looking very strong at this stage, but he does have a 3-second penalty. Nameless on course, I think, to score his best result of his career, if I get my own book up. No, listen, he will equal his best from Italy back in round 14, and of course he also finished 5th position there as well. Kieran then is all over the back, he's going for it, and he dives up the inside very late for Nameless there, and I wonder if Nameless was lulled into a full sense of security there, where he thought that Kieran was a bit too far back, but very much brave on the brakes there for Kieran. Nudges Nameless as he gets past, and now up into 5th position. There goes the Williams driver, and Kieran is going to be on course, and currently still on course for 7th position because of penalties at the moment. Now, Immortal's done a master stroke, says Serious Mushroom. Mushroom slander is Peugeot via Tickle, says Nosey. By the way, how do you get an octopus to laugh? Tentacles. Right, Mr. back at the front. Sounds of Ninja 4 seconds away. Brabbit, Flippy, Immortal is now within 2 seconds, and he's well within 2 seconds as well, almost within a second now. 22 out of 29. He is coming through like a freight train, and there is Mushroom thinking that Immortal made a mistake on those hard tires. Yes, I am calling him out as well. Out of the race goes Dylan, though. It's been a very disappointing season for the former bronze champion, but I must say Delano has really kept with it as his 12th start of the season then, but it's just not been good for the Ferrari driver and Delano out of the race. I think that justifies still in this race at the moment, which justifies if he finishes, it'd be the first time he finished in his gold career, which would be good stuff indeed there. Flippy all over the back of Brabbit there, but I must say Soundswift Ninja just absolutely rocketed off on those hard tires. The second stint for Soundswift Ninja in these recent races has been pretty phenomenal. It really has indeed there for Soundswift Ninja, and once again it's showing that quite nice indeed. One retirement so far in this race, sadly, is Delando out of the Grand Prix after very much no pace in that Ferrari, sadly, and because of that I think that Ferrari have decided to save the motor for one more round in Abu Dhabi in a week's time for Delando, and I think he'd be happy to call it a day in ALR Gold then, because it's not been a good season there, but fantastic for Delano for sticking with it. Fair play. I certainly would have done, but then again, I haven't got the metal of some of these drivers. Sebasta still within DRS of Nameless, who is also still within DRS of Kieran as well. But Kieran is going to try and rocket to the way now. He needs to gain 3 seconds over Nameless and keep that 5th position. Of course, Kieran's best result of this season was actually a 7th position in the British Grand Prix. Sorry, 8th position in the British Grand Prix. For Kieran, his best result of ALR all time in gold, I should say. Anyway, he is. Hang on, where can I find him? I can't find him, unfortunately. Oh, it's 7th position as well. So 7th position there for. He's got 11 points in 4 starts. That's Kieran Evans. So this is his best result so far in his ALR Gold career. Immortal all over the gearbox now. Special's got a 3-second penalty. Look at Immortal there. And Immortal's going for the Flippy that moves across to the fen from the Racing Bull then. So Immortal, who would like to get through, the more time that he spends stuck behind these two drivers, the less time he's going to have a chance to challenge Soundswift Ninja and keep his championship lead with just 1 race to go then. So this is crucial for the outcome of the World Championship. My goodness, that gracious me. Soundswift, Immortal, Mad Max and Flippy for driver there. Get those votes in there, ladies and gentlemen. As Immortal then, I think that he's just going to have to back off here, do a bit of harvesting, then hopefully he's going to try and get past these two. The gap is down to 5 seconds, so with just 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Immortal cannot afford a crash either at this stage, can he? Of course, any collision, any damage there is going to cost him points there, so Immortal needs to keep with it. Remember, in Las Vegas last week there, he went down the escape road onto the strip then, and that cost him majorly, didn't it? Cost him 2 points there, which could be the difference between winning or losing this World Drivers' Championship. Out of the final turn then, Brabbit's getting defensive, Flippy's getting attackive, as is Immortal's while they fly underneath me. Here comes, where are they? There they are. And oh, we're going to see a Flippy and Brabbit are fighting. Brabbit goes on the inside. Oh, it's Flippy almost losing the car. And now Immortal's on the outside as well. But Immortal, these drivers know that Immortal's fighting for the championship. Immortal trying to go on the outside. Flippy slams the door shut on the toes of the World Championship leader. Oh my goodness me. Mayran out of the Grand Prix as well, and that's unusual for Mayran because Mayran was on course to get some points for the first time in his gold career. That has not happened, unfortunately, and that is a big blow indeed. Oh, gosh. Let me get this Driver of the Day vote out the way. There we go then. Driver of the Day vote, of course, sponsored by 3D prints and all that kind of stuff. Justified's got a 3-second penalty, 2 retirements in this Grand Prix. Kaz is now having to finish there on a fresh set of medium tyres. So only 1 lap, 1 lap younger than this man, Immortal. The gap is now at 5 seconds there. The more time that he spends behind these two drivers, the less time that he's going to have to try and catch Soundswift Ninja. Soundswift Ninja is on course to regain the championship lead for the first first time since, I think it's since Miami or Saudi Arabia earlier on this season then. My goodness gracious me, Immortal is going to have it all to do in the final race in Abu Dhabi. Goodness gracious me. And it is going to be a fantastic championship crescendo. But the more points that Immortal wins now, then the better chance he's got of getting that world championship in a week's time, of course. Once again, though, he is stuck in a DRS train now. Equaz's got a 3-second penalty on lap 26, as has Tom Huffy, which could cost him points in the final stage of this Grand Prix as well. My goodness gracious me. Immortal had a chance on this part of the circuit earlier on there, and once again he's having a look there. Once again, though, the McLaren there is, I think that was more a distraction than the McLaren rather than anything else. But Flippy in his 20th Grand Prix start, I believe, tonight. Of course, 2 Grand Prix wins as well, and he's had 8 podiums in those 20 Grand Prix starts as well, I think, from Flippy. So Flippy also the silver champion, and this is the most successful silver champion in his first season in gold that we have had ever, I believe. I think, of course, Brabett's got wins, hasn't he? Same as Flippy then, but of course, Flippy's just come into first season after winning silver. He's just coming here, and he has been phenomenal, has Flippy. Really has indeed then, and of course, getting for his first 2 Grand Prix wins of his career this season as well in the top championship of ALR. He has been an incredible season, hasn't he, so far? But of course, he is not good. But of course, I think is more thinking about championship credentials next season. Becca's been left out of driver of the day. 8 votes said 25% for Sam Swift, 38% for Immortal, Mad Max on 12%, and 25% for Flippy as well. As Immortal is staying out of DRS there, isn't he? Sorry, staying out of Slipstream there, isn't he? It's lap 27 now. Out of 29 then, of course. I feel that Sam Swift Ninja's too far back now. The penalty situation on the left-hand side there. So the top 8, apart from Kieran, have not got 3-second penalties. That's incredible. That just shows why they are pinnacle of a Grand Prix racing. Now, the 2 Alpines have really homed in on Nameless, and remember, Mad Max spun earlier on then as well. So great recovery so far for then. Minor damages lap 1. It was hard to continue. Focus on tomorrow, says Mayran, of course. And Mayran, of course, needs to focus on tomorrow as he has got a championship to win, hasn't he, in silver. Of course, we'll go for the silver permutation set. We'll go for the silver permutation set before we go off air tonight. Then someone's gone to the gravel there. I don't know who it was then, but someone's had a trip, and unfortunately, that's put gravel all over the track there, which is not good. They're not going to be too. They're not going to be too happy, are they? The other drivers. And goodness gracious me, just watching Immortal again then, and it's still in 4th position then, and still currently not gaining enough. That is, as we go into the final race set in Abu Dhabi in just over a week's time. Goodness gracious me, Sam Swift Ninja on course for his 8th Grand Prix win of the season, which would be 1 more than Immortal. Then that is how close this championship has been, hasn't it? Of course, Sam Swift Ninja 7 wins, Immortal 7 wins. 7 wins as well. 11 podiums to Immortal's 10 in this championship fight. My goodness gracious me. Absolutely incredible stuff, and just on board once again then with Immortal, as of course we are very close. We are approaching the end of it. This enthralling Grand Prix here in Qatar, and Vessia has found a very novel way of getting through Cam there, and having to 40 position. Both drivers have got 15 seconds of penalties. Cam is having a disappointing race after a superb race in Vegas a few days ago there. Mad Max is still happy in 7th position there, 8th position is there. So Mad Max on course to get his first points for the Alpine team then. Mad Max had on first points of his gold career as well. Yellow flag then for one of the Haas cars of Morris, who is ghosting there. So Morris has had a trip somewhere, and unfortunately for the second Haas car, it's been pretty difficult indeed. Back at this battle here, it's got championship permutations on lap 28 out of 29 then. Sam Swift Ninja has now got almost a 6-second buffer between himself. As Immortal going up the circuit there, because I think Immortal might have to throw caution to the wind now, as he cannot afford to lose his front nose cone and have a retirement. But at the same time, he needs these points, doesn't he? As I think that some drivers have dropped down the order there, haven't they? As once again, then Immortal is not going into solution, and then he is staying on the outside there. I think he wants a better run then. Here comes Flippy, he's going on the outside, and he has a look there, but Brabbit goes in. He's going to go for the old switcheroo. No, he's not. Brabbit is still in second position. Great defending from Brabbit, and keeping Flippy at bay. What great bustling in between the two drivers as they fly up into turn 4, I think it is, or 5. Professor's got another penalty out there to add to the mix there. Kieran is out of penalty range now of Nameless there, and Nameless will have to settle for 6th position then, as we are in the final stages of this Qatar Grand Prix. Qatar Grand Prix, Sevasta and Nameless are still fighting, and Mad Max is also in 8th position as well. Strong performance from Mad Max. Incredible stuff indeed then. And my goodness gracious me then, as we come into the final stages of this Qatar Grand Prix. And Sam Swift Ninja is looking fairly strong indeed then, as... fairly strong indeed then, and as it stands, as goodness gracious me, Flippy all over the gearbox now of Brabant, but here comes Sam Swift Ninja out of the final corner for the 29th and final time, and he wins his 32nd Grand Prix of his career. Sam Swift Ninja wins the Qatar Grand Prix and takes the lead in the Drivers' Championship with one race to go. The battle is... Flippy, I think, finished third. The battle, the gap is 8 points that separate Sam Swift Ninja and Immortal then, of course, because I think Flippy finished third then, and 4th position was Immortal. So Immortal is Sam Swift Ninja leads the championship by 8 points there from Immortal then, with just one round to go. Incredible stuff indeed in this absolutely enthralling Qatar Grand Prix. And then in terms of the Constructors' Championship, Racing Bulls have this time officially clinched the Constructors' Championship. So Racing Bulls are now Constructors' Champions for the first time in their career, and for the first season as a Racing Bulls anyway. Wins the Constructors' Championship, so hats off to Racing Bulls. Immortal's had to do it on his own for the last couple of races, but he's got it over the line. Immortal and Racing Bulls are the Constructors' Champions for the first time in their career. But Sam Swift Ninja is the championship leader with just 8 points, separates himself and 7 himself and Immortal then, with one race to go. For the second time in ALR Gold history in 13 seasons, we're going to have a championship showdown, a championship crescendo, I should say. As Mayran saying, fast the tire around here, as hard to medium is fast here, but not for DRS trains like Brabant and Flippy. Right then, as Immortal really about to throw away, says Troy. Oh, look who's back then. Sam is on. Yes. But many congratulations to Racing Bull. The Racing Bulls, they are the Constructors' Champions for the first time, so congratulations to them. So there's a bit of good news, but I think that from a driver's point of view, I feel that they are going to be very disappointed that they have lost the lead in the Drivers' Championship at this stage of the season with just one round to go. Final classification then is we got fastest up by Legends as well, who did bring the gap down by one more point, but it wasn't enough, unfortunately. Final classification, and Sam Swift Ninja wins his 32nd Grand Prix of his career. Second position is Brabant. Third position is Flippy, with 4th Immortal. Kieran in 5th position, his best result of his career. 6th is Nameless, and 7th is Sevasta. 8th is Mad Max. Good stuff for LP. 9th is Cam, and Marky gets 10th position there, of course. Marky is 64th Grand Prix start tonight. Pots up just outside the points 11th position. Huffy in 12th position there. What a drive from Huffy there, but there's going to be a lot of controversy after qualifying. Equals in 13th. Legends gets the fastest up in 14th position. 15th is Cam. Bester in 16th, with Morris in 17th. And I think Justified 18th. Mayran retired along with Delando. 1 second, let me take a screenshot. Oh, beautiful. Oh, fantastic. Gosh. Bring back Nosey. There's too much to remember. Oh, goodness gracious me. But yes, just to underline it, Racing Bulls are the Constructors' World Champions for the first time. This in their career. Fantastic indeed, albeit that's their first season in theory. But it is the what the main thing talking point of today is, Mortal is now not the leader of the championship. The leader is Sam Swift Ninja. 8 points separate Sam Swift Ninja and Immortal going into the final stages of the World Championship. Tomorrow night for silver, Mayran is 25 points in front of Sweet, 63 points in front of Marquis. So Marquis needs to have another win at least, but I feel it's outside of his control now. It's going to be a showdown between Mayran and Sweet, and it's even a big ask for Sweet. Then Mayran could be crowned constructor drivers champion tomorrow night if it all goes his way. And of course, in bronze, there anything can happen there between the top three. Dynamo Dan is still in the constructor. It's still in the fight for the championship. Is Dynamo Dan, but it's very much looking a long shot now. Reflections leads the championship from 4 points from Smithy in second, and Hungry Stars is currently in a third position at the moment. That is going to be very interesting indeed. In terms of constructors championship, Aston Martin can be crowned the constructors championship for bronze if it all goes their way as well. Then let's have a chat with the driver, shall we? Got Brabbit in tonight then. And Brabbit then, a great result to second today then. And I must say, though, that I thought when you come out in that second round of pit stops, I thought that you was going to struggle then without DRS there. But goodness me, your top end speed was fantastic. But that was a very intense battle between yourself and Flippy at the end there.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I agree. The second stint after the pit stop was not ideal. I was struggling with my outlap, and I was losing the DRS window to Sam. Sam was really quick and consistent, and yeah, just my outlap wasn't perfect. It was not so good. So, but anyway, I think Sam would still have managed it to finish first, because in the first stint it was really hard to make a move. So I stayed behind and tried to maximize or to optimize the pit stop. But yeah, the outlap was bad. But all in all, it's a great race. I really enjoyed the battle with Flippy. So congrats for him, and also congrats for Sam for the win.
It's certainly a fraud, and of course you mentioned at the beginning of the stint, and it was so difficult, wasn't it? Where it was just a 4 or 5 of you in a gaggle of 4 or 5 of you in a gaggle. There was only one driver on the hard tires at the start. There was you concerned about that strategy there, or was you quite happy with starting on the medium tires?
I think it was an optimal strategy. Like, yeah, both tires were quite good. Yeah, I was managing. I couldn't really manage because the pressure was really high, and I was really trying to manage the ERS to not get overtaken on the straights. But all in all, it was a great race, and I'm happy to be again on the podium. But winning here is so hard when Sam is outperforming anyone. So congrats for Sam. But P2 was maximum today. I really enjoyed it. I'm really happy to share the podium with Flippy again, and yeah, really happy right now.
And it certainly was an interesting fight as well. And you all went in the pits on the same lap then. Was you just following everyone into the pits, or was that just was that the planned lap to come in?
Yeah, I was planning to pit in lap 11 or 12, more like lap 11. And yeah, so this was a perfect pit window, I guess. Always depends on the traffic. But I want to mention the help from my teammate. My quali lap was insane. It was good, but with the slipstream from Jamie, thank you very much. I got another 10th, and this put me into the P2. And this was the key for the good race today. So cheers and congrats to my teammate. Thank you very much, Jamie.
Absolutely superb stuff indeed. And you got, I think, if my maths is correct, you got a 22-point lead over Flippy in that battle for P3 in the Drivers' Championship. Does that mean anything to you at all, or are you more concerned about getting wins?
Yeah, is it a good gap? I will try my best, and hopefully I can finish P3 this season.
Really well done today, Robert. Great drive to another podium. Then that is your 9th podium of the season. Fantastic. Flippy finished third today, and goodness gracious me, you and Brabbit was going all out in that battle for second position today. Then I bet it was quite frustrating towards then, especially as you had DRS, but you just couldn't get through.
Yeah, I think the race in general, like, was if I don't consider like the championship kind of situation, it was a good race for me. Like, I made some good moves, good overtakes, and that strategy was alright, not the worst like last week in Vegas. But like, yeah, if you just take like consideration of the championship, like it's kind of a missed opportunity from me, yeah, today.
That sounds like you really want P3 then. I must admit, because some drivers, I would say they're probably not interested in finishing second or third. Then they're always thinking about the win. But it seems like that's your personal goal for the remainder of the season. Is that to just keep you fully focused then potentially for next season?
Yeah, I guess in some way or another, like yeah, because like this game is kind of yeah, like I don't think a lot of people's enjoying this game, so I guess like competition kind of keeps me intrigued in the game, like the racing itself. Plus, like it's just healthy, like racing and competition with brother in it. Like we're like good friends and like just love competing with like people that like yeah, just basically racing. Yeah, good racing. Um, I thought I would have done it, but not easily, because like Qatar, you would think with that long straight that it would be easy to overtake, but like no, because of the sector three, like you can stick to the car in front quite easily on sector one and two, but like it's just the nature of sector three being all fast corners, so you just kind of like lose at least three, four tenths just from the last two fast corners. Like you're not really like it doesn't make it overtake easy on the main straight. Plus, like turn one, if you defend the inside, it's a lot harder for the car to overtake on the outside.
And with Immortal flying up behind you as well on the medium tires in the end there. What was your thinking behind that then? Because Immortal going for the championship, was you going to was you thinking I'm not going to let him through because this is racing, you got a battle for P3, or was you just giving it, or was you just being on the air side of caution there?
Yeah, I mean it's always like on my head like the driver championship situation, but like as who was it that said like no one gets a free place? Was it like Sunny Hayes in the film? I think. Like yeah, that's basically my mentality. Unless I'm like a backmarker, of course. But yeah, like I just love racing and like the action itself just kind of like I'm just yeah I just like it basically. But yeah,
Really well done today, Philip. That's your eighth podium of your career, of your season. Fantastic stuff indeed. And let's come to the new championship leader, Sam Swift Ninja. We was talking around around mid part of the season, and it was almost done and dusted. But your relentless form, then that is now 4 wins in the last 4 races. There, 5 podiums in the last 5 races. Since that retirement in Monza, you have been in absolutely in fine Vettel. You're 8 points in the lead, then give or take, going into the final race of the season next week. Then, what an incredible race that was for yourself.
Yeah, it was a good race, but I mean, it was only a good race because of Legend giving me a toe in qualifying. I mean, I only won that race because of qualifying, because my pace was not obviously it wasn't bad, but it wasn't up to everyone else's pace in the first stint, and I nearly bottled the race anyway because I mean, in the first 5 laps, I got 2 warnings. So I was literally on. I literally had one warning for like the entire race. So, I mean, if I would have, if I would have picked up another warning, I would have been winning this race. But yeah, yeah, it's another good race. And I mean, I needed it from how far back I was at the Monza Grand Prix.
I must admit, I've been comparing your championship charge similar to Lando Norris, where after that DNF in Zandvoort for Norris, he's really gone on the charge, and same for yourself as well. Since Italy, you've just been very relentless there and just eating into Immortals advantage. If you come into these last couple of races thinking you got nothing left to lose, kind of thing, and just going for broke?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said in the previous races, it was like nearly 60 odd points, or whatever it was. I mean, I had to like what I'm doing now, win every single race. So I mean, I didn't really have anything to lose because I mean, one bad race and then quite a lot of people will be saying that like, the championships more or less done and dusted. And I mean, like I said earlier on in the season, if I can stick within touching distance with the final few races, because I mean all these circuits are my best circuits, then I do have a chance. And I mean it's coming true because I'm managing to win races, which I wasn't doing at the start of the season.
Certainly is, because that is your third win in a row here in Qatar. Then you've absolutely owned this circuit in season 11. Then. And of course, going into Abu Dhabi next week, then you have won previously there in season 11, but it seems to be not going to be as straightforward potentially. But you did start from the back of the field last season. So, how confident are you going into Abu Dhabi?
Abu Dhabi is also one of my better circuits, so I've got a bit of confidence there, just based off my own pace. But I know that AC's extremely quick around here, around Abu Dhabi. I think it might be one of his best circuits because I mean, in terms of pace wise, he's really good. But and obviously, yeah, like you said, I started at the back last season, but I think my qualifying pace is not up to AC's standards around Abu Dhabi, so I'm gonna have to pray for a little miracle to do something well in the race. But I mean, I've managed to get a cushion now, so I don't know how much the cushion is, but I've got a cushion that could help me out for the final race.
And going into this race, of course, there was a great battle between yourself and your three followers in terms of Flippy, Brabbit, Mortal, and I think that Van Von was in there as well. The opening stint then seemed to be a bit difficult for yourself because you wasn't able to drop anyone. But as soon as you got onto those hard tires, you absolutely waltzed away. Then, do you just prefer being on the hard tires, or was that just getting the tires fired up and just have more confidence?
Yeah, I think I prefer the hard tires on this game compared to any other game. But I mean, it wasn't me just preferring the hard tires. I know that most people don't like absolutely go for it on the start of stints because obviously the tire wear is quite high, especially around this circuit. It's probably one of the worst, the worst circuits for tire wear. But I was like, I've got to win every single race to have a chance of winning this championship, so I have to just go for it. So I just went for it on the first lap because most people try and ease their tyres in because the tyre wear, like I said, is high. So I just went for it and I managed to come in clutch and break the 1 second, which obviously got me the win, including the qualifying.
And of course, then we've got 1 week now before the finale in Abu Dhabi. What are you going to be doing in that week then? Are you going to be practicing? Are you going to be just not touching the game? What are you going to be doing? Are you just going to put it to the back of your mind and just get on with day-to-day events and then worry about it when it comes to Sunday? Or is it going to be a very long week for you?
Yeah, I'll be just doing day-to-day stuff, and then when it gets close to the race, I'll just be doing what I've been doing for any other race. When it comes to the actual race day on Sunday, or maybe the day before, I'll do a bit of practice and see what the pace is like. Because I mean, there's no point me changing my routine of practice when I've just got to make it out like it's any other race in the past previous races.
Really well done today. Great race as well. Your 32nd Grand Prix win of your career as well, which is one away from Emerson as well. That's incredible stuff indeed.
Yep.
And that is going to be it then for gold tonight. Tomorrow night, Mayran could be crowned champion of silver if it all goes his way. He's got a 25-point lead in the silver championship. Bronze is a different story altogether. Then goodness gracious me, then the top three are separated by 10 points there. Dynamo Dan's got an outside chance, but he really needs his other three competitors to fall away then. So I think it's going to be a three-way showdown then. Tuesday, and going into Abu Dhabi next week for for bronze, I should say. And then of course, then we got the event league, the final race of the season, the event league, and of course there's a championship showdown there as well between Equals and Reflections. Goodness gracious me, it's a Champions Week then this week and next week. I cannot wait. See you then see you tomorrow for silver. Goodbye.